Hi, it's Paris from EpicReviewGuys. This is part 2 of the GreenStalk review. Today I'm going to take the soil that I've picked up, my 4 cubic feet, and these plants, some bulbs, some seeds, these starter pods, see how this system works.
Epic Review Guys.
Before putting the soil in here, I want to check out the water distribution. Only on one side on these lower ones. Maybe because of the angle. Oh, I see. The water's actually not making its way over here. I guess because of the slight tilt of the porch floor. So this does need to be completely flat if the water is going to get evenly distributed. I tested that out by pulling this up about an inch or so. And there we go, and we get the water coming through onto the other side. So I'm going to have to put some kind of a shim underneath of this or put it in a perfectly flat location for this to work right. A small piece of scrap lumber under it to prop it up. I thought it was about the right height, but now, with water in it, I see I've got the opposite going on. Lots of flow on one side, now none on this side. So it's got to be really precisely on an even surface for this to work right, it looks like. Swapped out the piece of scrap lumber for a piece of scrap Howdy plank, which is a better choice anyway because it's concrete based. It's not going to dissolve like a piece of wood is likely to, sitting in the water all the time. Here you can see now have drips all around evenly. So, took a little adjusting, but it should work fine now. As for how high to fill each tier with soil, you need to remember you have to leave room for this and then room for these holes to have some space to drip the water down into the soil. Wondering whether I should plant the seeds and things before putting the next tier on. I think I'd rather work here so I know exactly where they're going to come up. When you are assembling it, they do warn you got to be careful not to pour the soil down into there because it'll get in that water distribution tray below. So make a little cone out of aluminum foil or something, put that over each level as you fill it up with soil. Okay, I've got it up as high as I'd like the soil to be. Take off the aluminum cone. Put this guy in place. Ready to go to the next level. So far so good. I'm up to 4 tiers. The question with the last tier is put it in place and try to add the soil up at this height, or fill it up with soil and try to lift it up. Well, how heavy is 1 tier with no water in it? Where do you grab it from? Oh, that's not too bad. I think I'll just fill it up and then lift it into place. Done. Here it is, full of soil, hopefully still on the level. I know the weight of the soil could have changed that, but I may have to adjust it, keep it watering correctly. The next thing I'm going to do is put water in it and see how much the soil compacts. I may need to add a little more in the individual little alcoves here. I had more left than I was expecting. I should have only had a half a cubic foot left, and I had maybe 1 to 1.5 cubic feet left. Seems like it takes a lot of water the first go round. I don't know if that's going to stay the same every time. I'm going to need to do this several times to really get the soil soaked, but as you can see, water is working its way down and doing what it's supposed to. A little dry here on this end, but there is some water coming through. Now, as for watering it too much and how long you can keep putting water in here, I found that after about a minute, everything gets going real well, but then down at the very bottom, there will be a big flood of water coming out. So I think at that point, the gray trays here have all filled, and if you continue to pour water in, you're just basically flushing it straight through in the top and out the bottom. So when we get to that big flush, should be coming here momentarily, that's when we stop putting water in the top. There we go. At this point, I think there's no point in adding any more water until things have had a chance to drain inside a little and absorb into the soil. And here's what we have on the gardening menu. Some garlic bulbs, carrots, spinach, flowers, pansies, watermelon. This one, of course, has to go in the very bottom, as does the squash, because it's going to have a trailing vine that'll have to go down on the ground to actually grow. Cantaloupe as well. Some carnations, and then these pods, which are a new thing I've seen at our store. You just stick them in the ground, water them, and it already has the starter stuff around it that they will use to get growing. And I guess these, watermelon, cucumber, are going to have to stay down near the bottom too. Time to get started with these. They say all you have to do is peel this off. Oh, more information. And remove this part too. There we have our mulch, soil, fertilizer, and seed, I guess. This should be enough for 2 or 3 plants, so one of these per alcove. Even though the soil on the top there looks dry, down below it is wet. Watermelon, watermelon. It says 3 plants per alcove, but I don't know if they'll all make it, and I can thin them later, so I think I'm going to go with 6. And the cantaloupe, in this one right here. Tier 2, I'm going to do squash, watermelon, and cantaloupe. Third tier is going to be garlic. Just one of these in each alcove. Spinach and carrots in this next tier, half and half. And flowers for the top tier, carnations and pansies. Time to get it well watered in, and then I'll be back in a week or 2. Hopefully we'll be seeing some sprouts then.
Shopping is easy when you know what to buy. At EpicReviewGuys, we give it a try. What does the fox buy? Nobody knows, but before he goes shopping, he watches our videos.